This is Bob Andelman, and you're listening to and hopefully watching the Mr. Media radio interview with Amy Parham, author of 10 Lessons from a Former Fat Girl, Living with Less of You and More of Life. And Amy, I got to tell you, I had asked you before, if in a previous segment, if your husband Phil, who was on, of course, the Biggest Loser with you, if he was nearby, and that's because as you were talking during the second segment, I was just so overtaken. The words are great, but listening to the way you talk, I love the way you talk. And I was thinking, man, did I err by maybe I didn't go far enough into the South. I married a girl from Virginia. I think I should have held out and gone for South Carolina because I just love listening to you talk. You could be
Oh,
reading
well,
the
thank
dictionary,
you.
my dear, and I'd be happy.
Oh, goodness, you're funny.
So that's why I wanted to talk to Phil. I wanted to find out if that's
Well, he just walked back in. Look at him walking back in the door.
yeah.
So, Bob wanted to ask you a question, I think, for a
Okay.
second.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you directly so it wouldn't seem like I was flirting with your wife.
Sure.
But I was just telling her, hey Phil, hey folks, this is
Hey,
Phil,
hey guys. How
Amy's
are you?
husband. You know
Yes,
him from
husband.
Biggest Loser as well. Another big weight loss guy. Um, I was just saying that in the last segment, I was listening to your wife talk, and of course the words were very important, but I just love listening to her talk. Just
Oh,
that that
I know.
that voice, and I was just, I wanted to ask you because I didn't want it to seem like I was flirting with your wife, but I mean, do you love the sound of that voice, or do you, you know?
Oh, I've loved it for 22 years.
Hmm.
I love her voice. I love her laugh.
There you
I love
go.
about her. And I think America would too. And I want to put a plug in here, Bob. Listen to this. There's some kind of a thing out on the web about, is it on ABC.com?
Yes. He's trying to get me nominated for Dancing with the Stars, but I'm telling you, I can't dance.
Wow.
Wouldn't that be great? She can't dance, but wouldn't that be cool? She's actually, you could learn.
I guess I could learn.
Then you might want to have a
It,
I think I'd
thing
be.
with one of those
I think I'd be.
dancer guys.
Now that would be the plus. The dancer guys, they're all hot.
oh, great, great. You're gonna
Now,
regret this one, Phil. I
I'd
think.
be worse than Kate Goslin, I assure you.
No, you wouldn't be worse than Kate. She's horrible.
Well,
But
oh my.
I
Well,
didn't hear.
I was gonna say you couldn't be worse than okay Kate or Bristol Palin got a little better as she went along, but most people don't think she got as far as she did based on her dancing. So
Exactly.
you can
But
you can
wouldn't
learn.
that be cool? I mean, I was thinking about that this morning, and I thought, how bizarre is that? That maybe we get 3 votes. I don't know, but
Well,
it's
a lot
just.
of Biggest Loser girls have been getting votes on,
But
on
I mean,
ABC.com, but
yeah, just
there's
the
lots
thought
of
that you're nominated.
there's lots of ones that would really be cute on that show, I think.
How
I'd love to
cool
see
is
a
that?
Biggest Loser girl get on there. Not me necessarily, but a Biggest Loser
That
girl.
would be great. Now, would ABC bring an NBC star over? I don't know.
Who
Well, who
knows?
knows? I mean, a couple years later, maybe I'm thinking she would be good. She would be good
You
at
always think that because you're my husband.
well, well, since you're both here, let me ask you this. Um, it's been about 6 months since we spoke together, and you've got that much more time away from Biggest Loser under your
it.
shortened, tightened belts. Um, has your view of the show and that experience has it changed any in that time? Has it evolved?
It was an extremely hard experience, but I tell you, I'll never view it as anything more than a blessing. I mean, it's just, I mean, of course it was, there's difficult things that happen when you get on a reality show. I mean, your life changes in some weird ways, but I will never think of it as anything less than a blessing because it's really changed our lives. It's helped us in so many ways. We've gotten opportunities for our kids as a result of the show. A company called Learning RX gave our son free brain training therapy, and it gave him the ability to be able to read and do math and go into a regular class this year for the first time. And so I'm not going to ever complain about Biggest Loser
Because
because
I
it's been
think at
amazing.
first you feel almost a little used
Mm,
when you get, if you understand what I
yeah.
mean, because you're a commodity, and
And you're exploited to the
you're
world and all that.
exploited a little bit. But then when you get past it, you go, oh my gosh, what would my life be like if
If I
I
hadn't
had
had
not
it.
had this kind of an experience? And then like you said, we just kind of wanted to take it that much further and help other people because there's so many people who can't get on the show. I mean,
Right.
we go to these casting calls with 1,000 people who stand there
Yeah.
for
Standing in line for
some of them are
hours.
24 hours.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost like trying to get tickets to a rock
We always say
concert
we
or
won the fat
something.
person lottery.
Yeah, exactly. and we can relate to people so much. And then, they just really can't get close to touch Bob and Jillian. And almost on some levels, we can relate to people more because they were never really heavy like we were, So, I mean, overall, you looking back 2 years later, it's a blessing, but you go through mixed emotions through the whole process.
Well, and you guys have
Hmm.
found, yeah, I mean, if we look at it and say that, yeah, to a degree that NBC and The Biggest Loser exploits the people who go
Sure.
on there, you guys have turned the tables on that. I mean, you've created this whole other career, this industry of sorts, and
Right.
you seem, I mean, when we met
In
six
a
months
way,
ago,
in a way, that's
yeah,
right.
you
Yeah.
seem very happy. Look at the two of you.
Yeah.
Oh, we,
Oh, we
we've
are.
we've
Yeah.
we've gone from happiness, sadness, depression, back to happiness again because you really part of what I think Amy talks about in her book is you kind of rediscover yourself. You don't know who you
Hmm.
are. You don't know who you are
It's a
as a
process.
thin person. You have to go through the journey and the process, and it's not easy.
And
And
people, that's another thing I talk about in the book is that people think, well, once I lose all this weight, my life's just going to be perfect. But there is a process to go through to get to that perfect state where we're starting to experience really, true happiness right now. There was a time, a valley period that you go through where you're readjusting. And so, that's what Philip's trying to say is that,
it was tough on our marriage because we had been a certain way for 20 years.
and it had enabled each other too, in that to be towards being the fat person. So it's an adjustment with anything that's worthwhile. Though there's a little pain. I always say, the president of the United States. It's not easy campaigning in 5,000 cities. To become that. It's not easy to give. Have go through childbirth to have a child. But all these things are worthwhile in the end.
Well, and
Yeah.
I just, Amy, you need to know this, and I'm assuming Phil will back me up here. It's not when you lose all the weight that your life becomes immediately happy. It's when you lose all the hair.
Well,
Exactly.
you can't. I'm not shaving my head.
If
That's
you'll remember from the show, I was cul-de-sac and then I was completely bald after the end because I thought, hey, go all the
Yep.
way.
Don't
You
do
know,
anything halfway. I hear you.
don't do
I
anything
hear you.
halfway.
All
Yeah.
right, so you have one more book coming out. Is that the two of you, or is that just you, Amy, or what is that?
That's the two of us again. We're back together as a team doing a book for kids. And it's really kind of the first 5 chapters are written to the parents to kind of admonish them that they need to take charge of their kids' health. And then the daily devotions, as you will, are directed to the children so that like the parents could sit around the table and read one of those every day around the dinner table. And they're written in kid language, I guess you
Or a
should
kid
say.
from like say
3
3 to 13
to
could
13.
actually read it. Somebody first grade to eighth maybe, and understand it. We tried to make it like little lessons for kids on a daily basis, and we're still working on a title. It's kind of like the Amazing Fitness Adventure kind of a deal, and 90 little lessons for kids, and it's going to be fun. We're working with a cartoonist and illustrators and stuff to really get the book cover and the title. So it's going to be completely different. We want everything we do to be different, and so we're excited about that. And the biggest thing we've been working on lately, I guess Amy told you, was our website, the
Yeah,
philandamyfitness.com, the new community, and
we have an online community that people can join, and we have tips and recipes and meal plans
video blogs,
and a meal
online chat,
planner.
and boy, that's a lot of work. But I mean, that's going to be our future because that's where people are going. They want to be able to get grab their iPhone and open it up and watch a little video on how to do something. And then that's kind of how people like what we're doing here on Skype. That's the whole. We do that once a week with people, and that's kind of where things are going with conference calls and
And they
online
can get
chat.
all
It's
our
all really
products
cool.
and everything there. So,
It's
and
really
by
cool. A
the
lot of work.
way, if anybody wants an autographed copy of my book for a short time, if they go to philandamyfitness.com and order it on there, I'll ship them out an
All
autographed
right.
copy.
And I'll
So,
tell you what,
not
if you
saying I'm
if you
not
give the URL one more time, here's what I'm going to do. Give the URL one more time, and I'm going to magically make it appear at the bottom of the screen.
okay. All
Okay.
right. It is philandamyfitness.com, and the and is written out. So
Terrific.
philandamyfitness.com.
So, folks, now you know where you can get it, and you can also get an unautographed copy right now at mrmedia.com at a great price. So think about that.
Absolutely.
Well, let's see. We covered the book. We covered the marriage. I flirted with your wife a little bit. I think we've got it all covered.
And I'm going to magically disappear. because this is Amy Parham.
Amy Parham and
Uh-oh.
good old what's his name. Thank you so much for being with us here on Mr. Media again. All right.
Thank you. Have a great day down there in
You too.
Florida where it's warmer.
We'll try. We'll try. You guys take care. All right.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey, did you know that you can listen to the latest Mr. Media on your phone with the Stitcher app? Stitcher is smart radio for your smartphone. Mr. Media is on demand and on the go with Stitcher. Download Stitcher for your phone today. Get the free download at Stitcher.com. That's STITCHER.com.